Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D. So I'm having several technical issues. My camera is acting up. It keeps going in and out. And this Wi-Fi on this island is trash. It is so bad. So if I'm a little bit behind, it's taking a bit for me to upload on certain topics. That's why. Anywho, let's just get into this impressive vid. It's titled Chris Brown Arrested After Supporting Tory Lanez. And new evidence says Kelsey shot Meg the Stallion. Okay, we're gonna get into it and see what this new evidence is. I saw something pop up on my timeline about how the security guard said he overheard Kelsey say that she shot Meg. So, you know, everybody's saying something different. So let's just hear what's going on. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive Channel. There have been some major updates involving Tory Lanez's appeal case. Now, Tory Lanez and his legal team have been working hard to overturn his conviction. He was convicted of shooting at Megan Thee Stallion, and he's currently spending 10 years in prison.
That wasn't the only charge, though. I think people like to conveniently leave that out. He was also convicted for possession of a firearm, and he was on probation, I believe. So when you commit crimes when you're already on probation, you get much more harsher sentences. So he did have possession of a gun. So even if he did not shoot Meg, he still will be going to jail for some amount of time. And also for shooting the firearm, you know, which I believe he did. I don't know if he shot her directly. Just hearing everybody's stories and just using my common sense, it sounds like he might have shot the gun. Like maybe this nigga seen too many movies. I don't know. He wanted everybody to shut up. Everybody shut the fuck up. And he like tried to shoot. Maybe his aim was a little off or whatever. I don't know. And I feel like one of the bullets probably ricocheted and hit Megan's foot. That's what I think happened. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't fucking know. But that's just what it seems like occurred. So I don't know if he shot her directly. But the fact of the matter is he was in possession of a gun when he was not supposed to have one, an illegal gun. And he shot the gun. And there was a victim who got shot as a result of him shooting the gun. So people want to leave all those details out. If he did not have a gun at all, had nothing to do with it, they completely fabricate this whole story, he don't know what's going on, I highly doubt he would be silent about what took place. It would be like, wait, what the fuck, these bitches trying to frame me? I had nothing to do with this. They lying. Like, no, let me get on the stand. They lying. Everything is a lie. I saw this person do this. Like, that would have taken place, regardless of what your lawyers are telling you to do. But he was so hush-hush about it because he was guilty to some extent. So that's what I think took place. That's just my take on the situation. But anyway.
And his legal team found some new evidence that proves his innocence. For one, it was said that Tory never shot at Megan. It was actually Megan's friend, Kelsey. I have said in my previous videos that there has always been speculation that it was really Kelsey who shot at Megan because Kelsey was mad when she found out that Megan was sleeping with Tory behind her back. They were fighting that night, and the fight led to shots being fired. And the independent witness who saw what happened, named Sean Kelly, did say that he saw Kelsey shoot. But later on, he said it was Tory who shot. So his testimony...
That's the issue as well. Everybody is saying something different. Meg came out and said he shot her. She was very adamant about that. And then Kelsey, didn't she initially say that he shot her too? But then she tried to backpedal and be like, oh, I'm not talking, and trying to change her story. And then the security guard is saying, no, Kelsey did it. Like, who did it? It's like everybody's lying at this point. It's like, what do we even believe?
It was very conflicting, but it wasn't what he initially told the police. Tory's defense asked him, did you say that after you saw the two girls fighting, you saw one of the girls shoot, sir? He said, I believe so, but... Tory's defense.
The other thing that don't make sense is for Meg to completely lie about him shooting her and let Kelsey off the hook when she don't even fuck with Kelsey anymore. That's not her friend. She don't like her. I don't know why she would lie to protect this bitch that you don't even fuck with and you don't like. That don't make no sense to me. If somebody shot me that I am no longer even friends with, I don't like, I don't want nothing to do with, I'm not gonna be like, oh, let me protect you because we were once friends. You think she got a type of loyalty? This is the chick who fucked her friend's man. You think she got that much loyalty? Use common sense. She got so much loyalty that she's willing to save her from going to jail. No, let me protect you and frame another man. You putting all that thought into it because your loyalty runs so deep, but you willing to fuck her man? Like, the math ain't fucking mathing. So it's like, I feel like a lot of people don't use that common sense. That don't make sense to me that she would do that. If Kelsey shot her, I don't see why she would be like, no, this bitch shot me. You going to jail, ho. We ain't friends. I don't fuck with you. And yeah, get up out of here. Go to jail. Why would she? No, I'm gonna protect you. No, she ain't got no loyalty. Clearly, fucking on her man.
Interjected. Thereafter, did you say that the shorter guy, got involved at that point, trying to take the gun away? And the prosecutor, Mr. Bott, tried to object, and the judge overruled it. And then Tory's defense asked again, "Is that what you said?" And the witness, Sean Kelly, said, "Yeah." So he admitted it. And not only that, Tory's driver, who was there that night of the incident, named Jaquan Smith, said in his affidavit that he saw Kelsey with the gun in her hand, and Tory tried to disarm her. Also, recently, Tory's legal team said that they talked with Kelsey's security guard, and Kelsey's security revealed that Kelsey admitted to shooting Megan.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James.
And why the driver, did he disappear? He signed this, but when they were trying to have him, go on the witness stand, they couldn't find him. So it's like, it's just a lot of shady shit going on. It's a lot of different stories. It's like, what is the truth?
Informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
So that right there is really a bombshell revelation.
She shot it 3 times, and he shot it 2 times?
Where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times.
Oh, on its own.
In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun.
So that right there is really a bombshell revelation. Now, some people might say, well, if Kelsey was the one who shot her, why?
But again, it just don't make sense that Meg would lie about that.
Didn't Tory testify?
And obviously she did lie. Again, she's proved herself to be a liar. Got it, cool. But again, using my point, which is she doesn't have any loyalty. So why would her loyalty just kick in so strong in that moment to try to protect Kelsey so bad?
And why did Tory go online and say she didn't shoot her?
Oh, okay. Fuck out of here, buddy.
And why was Tory apologizing to her on that jail
That part
call?
too.
What was he apologizing for? And why did he sound so guilty?
It is what it is. Regardless if I get out of here today or not, bro, I just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk, bro. Like, you know.
Tory also apologized.
People trying to say, oh, he was apologizing because he was fucking with both of them at the same time. Again, y'all don't have no common sense. He said, I wouldn't even done that if I was so drunk. That doesn't, what? He been fucking them over a certain period of time. That doesn't apply to that. Use your brain. What are you talking about? He's talking about one particular incident. And a fuck nigga like this, I don't even see him apologize for fucking both of y'all. It's like, well, y'all both was with it, whatever. Trying to fuck Kylie next. That's the energy he giving anyway. So I don't even see him apologize for that. But if you listen to him, he's saying, damn, I was just drunk. He talking about one incident.
I get out of here.
And why did he sound so guilty?
It is what it is. Regardless if I get out of here today or not, bro, I just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk.
I would have never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk. You talking about that one night when you were drunk, that one incident. You're not talking about fucking them over a period of time. That doesn't make any sense. That's not what he's talking about.
Bro, like,
so that's very guilty.
Tory also apologized to Megan and said he was sorry and said he was just too drunk. Now, Tory never specified what he was apologizing for, but he later on came out and said, Good D had me effing 2 best friends and I got caught. Stupid. That's why I apologize for.
That doesn't make sense. You're talking about one incident. I was too drunk. So are you saying you were drunk every time you was fucking them and you would have never did it if you were like, that don't make sense. I know English.
And he said he was sorry and said he was just too drunk. Now, Tory never specified what he was apologizing for, but he later on came out and said, Good D had me effing 2 best friends and I got caught. That's why I apologize for. It's sick how you spun it though. And that's what he was saying in response to Megan. Also, there was evidence sent to the court where Kelsey texted Megan's bodyguard and said, Help, Tory shot Meg. So obviously with this evidence, they were able to pin the crime on Tory.
With all of this considered, how can you be like, no, Tory is completely innocent, he didn't do nothing wrong, and that, like, you sound stupid. All of this considered, this is sketchy. It makes everything so confusing. It's like, wait, what really happened? There are so many different stories.
Ever.
And so much evidence to support that, wait, Tory looks guilty. Oh, wait, there's evidence that support that Kelsey's look guilty. Oh, wait, there's evidence that show Meg is a liar.
The major evidence that they completely skipped over was the DNA evidence. The prosecutor said that his DNA was inconclusive, but if you shoot at somebody 5 times, your DNA has to be conclusive.
According to the prosecution, Tory was excluded from the clip of the gun. DNA analysis showed that there was a 0.01% chance that Tory touched the actual gun itself.
As the attorneys laid out here today, the prosecution failed to produce a single shred of forensic evidence tying Tory to the actual gun. His fingerprints weren't on it. His DNA was later found to be 100% nearly excluded from the gun, as shown in the worksheet that was provided to the defense late on the eve of the actual trial. There is a 0.01% chance Tory's DNA was on the firearm.
This has always been the most confusing thing about this case to me, is the DNA evidence. That DNA doesn't match up with the story that was being told. We don't even know if he actually owned the gun. They put that gun charge on him and said that he was carrying an unregistered semi-automatic firearm. They never checked to see who the gun belonged to, but his DNA wasn't on the magazine of the gun, nor was his DNA conclusively found on the actual gun. So that could kind of lead people to believe that maybe he didn't own the gun. And also, it's hard to prove if he shot it if his DNA ain't there. And another thing that was weird is Tory's DNA was the only one tested that night.
There were 3 potential suspects in the car that night.
Yeah, I don't know.
And yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson. Even though unknown DNA was found on the gun.
Because, yeah, when you say shit like this, it's like, okay, well, yeah, maybe he didn't do it. But then all the other, Tory shot Meg. And like this other evidence, it's like, in everybody's stories, it's confusing.
Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense?
In fact, there were 3 people that night at the scene who tested positive.
I still see why Meg would lie about that.
One of those was Kelsey Harris, as Gianno mentioned.
Tory's legal team also alleges that there was some serious foul play throughout this whole case and trial.
Another irregularity. Why, at Miss Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member, record company executive allowed to participate?
The investigation itself was a disaster. Bullet fragments disappeared. The gun serial number was sealed.
Fucking Nicki Minaj.
A move that blocked the defense from investigating ownership. Police failed to follow standard procedures. Why? Didn't mark shell casings on the road, and didn't test others involved that night with DNA. This wasn't justice. It was a rush to judgment. The prosecution knew the case was thin. So what did they do? They tacked on gun enhancements, just like they spoke about.
When you hear it detailed like this, it does sound crazy. It does sound like there was some foul play. And also with Kelsey getting immunity, that was another thing that was suspicious to people.
About a specific incident.
Also, in my op-ed, Kelsey Harris pleading the 5th Amendment. She wasn't accused of anything by Megan Pete or the police, and to my knowledge, she wasn't under any investigation. So why plead the 5th? What also shocked me is the prosecution gave her immunity. For what? What did she do? Is there an allegation of her doing something?
I actually think Kelsey got immunity after she gave the prosecutors that private interview and told them what they wanted to hear for the case. But when she got on the stand, she acted dumb. She acted like she didn't know what happened that night. So she didn't cooperate with them when it was time for her to do so. But she did give a private interview stating that Tory was abusive and he also shot Meg. But it is weird that she was still on a phone call with him after she alleged that he did all of these things.
But what really shocked me about it is if my best friend was shot maliciously by someone just 2 or 3 hours before, I wouldn't have answered the call, or if I did, I wouldn't calmly have a conversation.
But if he saw her shoot Megan, why are you apologizing about an incident? I was too drunk. Not I apologize for what I put y'all through, what I did with y'all. I was too drunk that night. That would have never happened if I wasn't too drunk.
Visual of it. And more importantly,
if she did the shooting,
I would never have given you my current location out of fear of you finishing the job.
I said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
Cedar, something like that. Cedar.
I don't even remember what we was even arguing about, bro. Like,
yeah, no, I was already fucked up by the time you got there, so I don't know how much.
I'm telling y'all, this whole thing is very weird. It's very, very weird. And what's interesting is right before these new developments were to come out,
that's stupid.
All of a sudden, Tory got stabbed 14 times.
Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan Pete's team, Kelsey Harris, and former DA George Gascon about a story on new evidence in this case. You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see the pattern. When evidence was about to come to light, Tory was nearly killed.
So Tory's team is really urging the governor, Gavin Newsom, to allow Tory out while this appeal is being processed because Tory's life is clearly in danger right now, and he's sitting behind bars for 10 years for a crime that he possibly did not commit. But his team needs to submit all of their evidence for this.
He needs to put him on the stand. He needs to actually say what exactly happened. That's what's fucking you up. That's the stupid part. That's where y'all fucked up to begin with. He should have got on the stand and tell us what occurred, because everybody's stories are conflicting. So just tell the goddamn truth. Open your mouth and tell the truth. What happened?
Even then, I don't.
You can't not want to say what happened, but then go to jail and cry about, oh, they doing me wrong, y'all. I didn't do this. Well, who the fuck did it? Say it explicitly. Hey, Kelsey, I had the gun. She grabbed it from me, or it was a gun under the seat. It was a security guard gun. She took it, and then she did this, and I tried. You have to tell us what happened. The fuck? That's so dumb.
Know if that's gonna be enough. Honestly, at this point, I want to see the video. I want to see what happened with my own eyes. I feel like there is a video out there, but I think it's being suppressed because it will reveal the truth. And who knows? It just might reveal that Tory is innocent. But if that were to be the case,
that was the case, that would be
the last thing that the LAPD and the DA and the prosecutors want. They don't want the truth coming to light. It not only will make Megan out to be a liar and Kelsey to be a liar, but it will expose the corruption of the whole LAPD, and also it would expose the corruption of Rock Nation, Desiree Perez, and Jay-Z. Right now, Tory was found guilty in court of law, so he is legally guilty. But if it comes out that he's actually innocent, then he could sue them into bankruptcy. And everybody involved will be investigated. And that is a rabbit hole that they don't want nobody going down in. One thing I also find interesting is that whenever somebody speaks out in support of Tory Lanez, they all of a sudden face some backlash or get caught up. Now, Chris Brown recently came out and supported Tory and said, "Free Tory." Guess what happened to Chris Brown, y'all? He got arrested at a 5-star hotel in Manchester, and it was over this bottle attack incident that happened back in 2023. That was over 2 years ago.
That is,
and this is alleged, by the way. I don't know if they actually have footage or proof of this attack or not, but it's interesting that he didn't get arrested when it actually happened, but he got arrested 2 years later, and now he's facing charges over this, and this happened right after he said "Free Tory." That is very suspicious to me. But see, Chris Brown should have never said "Free Tory." He already got enough issues as it is, so he needs to tread very lightly.
Yeah, that wasn't smart.
Also, I do find it interesting as well. When Drake said "Free Tory," there was this campaign to take him down, if you notice. Now, I do know that The real issue behind that is because Drake was beefing with the head of Universal, Lucien Grange. However, there were some other people who had an issue with Drake saying free Tory. So you had all these rappers come together to come at Drake, and Kendrick Lamar was spearheading the anti-Drake movement, and Roc Nation and the NFL awarded him with the opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. Very interesting, if you ask me. Also, if you remember, Nicki Minaj was arrested in Amsterdam after she called Megan Thee Stallion a liar in her song Bigfoot. Her security was the one who had possession of marijuana, but she was the one who was arrested. Very interesting.
She was not arrested.
I'm not saying Roc Nation is behind it, but you could see the pattern, and it could lead people to believe that, something fishy is going on here. Now, I don't know, y'all, but anyway, tell what y'all think about this.
Listen, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm not up here saying he did it or he didn't or Megan's this angel, da-da-da. I criticized Meg very heavily when this situation first occurred, okay? Go back and look at the goddamn videos. They still up, all right? I was getting a lot of backlash. People like, oh, you a woman. How you say about another woman? But I'm like, her story is suspicious. It ain't making sense. Why she keep getting online? It seems sus. I don't trust nobody. Everybody seem like they lying. I was on that same time and then, okay, and saying that everybody is sketch and it doesn't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense. There's a lot of confusion taking place. So that's what ended up happening. He got the charges, and if he didn't do it, he should have got on the stand and said that he didn't do it and detailed exactly what happened. And if, okay, they fumbled and they fucked up with that. Okay, try to get another trial, and now you need to open your mouth and explicitly state what happened, step by step, what occurred. If Kelsey did it, how did she do it? Where did she get the gun? What took place? Why would you stay quiet about that? That doesn't make any sense. So that makes you look suspicious. Along with her texting, Tory shot Meg, like, and you apologizing. Like, it's a lot of things that don't make sense. So that's my take on it. But ultimately, listen, I ain't shot nobody. So I'm chilling, all right? I ain't got no fucking dog in this fight. So I don't really care what ends up happening if he does get free because he actually didn't do it. And I'm like, okay, cool, he didn't do it. I'm not saying he did, but I'm just saying everybody's sketch. And he looks very guilty. He looks suspicious. So that's my take on the whole situation. Jesus. I'm talking about this case for years now at this point. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, and I'll see y'all the next time. Bye.